folks, welcome to my live call tonight. And it comes with a question: how do you recruit a professional? Such as maybe somebody that maybe has a career or someone in network marketing who has a higher rank. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. And I started in this business totally broke. I had to sell a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. And for almost the last 28 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. I love it. If you have to work, there's no place like home. I'm going to go right into the questions as they were. I'll start from the top. Alfonso talks about how do you prospect people on Facebook? What's the order? I think what it is, it's like we got to treat online connections the same way we treated people offline. How do we make friends with anybody or find something in common with anyone? First, we have to talk to them, right? But in this case, it might be if you're in a Facebook group and you are reaching out, maybe you like somebody's comment or they talked about something, that person just looks like the kind of person that would be a good fit for what you do, because many networkers belong to Facebook groups that are relatable to their lead products, if you get what I mean. So the thing is, it's like anything, we have to engage with that person. We just can't cut to the chase and say, hey, you got a minute to look at something? I've got an opportunity I think would make you a lot of money if you give it some time. And they don't even know who you are. They don't know anything about you. There's a certain protocol they respect. And that is, hey, engage with me, take an interest in me as a person. Some of the things that they post, you can give it some love, give it an emoji. Emojis go much further than a like. And then make some comments, engage. After they've started to notice that you're engaging and they're taking an interest in you as well, that is the beginning of what we call a relationship. So it doesn't have to be endless rapport, but you have to start there, my friend. Now, Eden, who inspired the title, How Do You Recruit a Professional? Her question was, how do you present to someone who is high-ranking in another company with your opportunity? So, yeah, sure. I get that. There's a couple of different ways to handle that, Eden. I can remember back in the 1980s when I had never achieved any success in network marketing, and I called this guy who was actually we were in the same company together, and it ran out of gas, and everybody's looking for a parachute, and we all ended up in different companies. And I remember calling him up to prospect him with my cut. And yes, I was scared to death, okay? Because he's some big giant, right? Anyway, I called him up, and you know what his exact words were? You got some balls to call me knowing who I am and what I've done in network marketing. But because you did that, I'm going to listen to you. That's exactly what he said. Oh, boy. So, did I get the guy? No. You know, I'm going to tell you something about yesterday's heroes are today's zeros. And a lot of these high-ranking people are not really ranking that high. Some of them retired and went to sleep a long time ago. They're not even at their current rank. You wouldn't know that, unless you're the upline, right? But that's the truth. And a lot of them, a lot of these high-ranking people that we think are doing so well are not doing so well. And that's not a reflection of their company. It's just that they just quit working. So, but on the other hand, there's some people. I spoke with one man. I was very surprised, who reached out to me. That was a top. He was in the top of his company. I don't know that he was the top earner, but I would say he's in the top 5. But anyway, you would think he was doing really great. He was not doing really great. And in fact, his company was behind several weeks on their lead product. They were back ordered. So can you imagine that? Again, a lot of people that we think are doing so great, and they're not doing so great. Why do I talk about this? I talk about this is because just like that guy, you would think he would never reach out. He did reach out. And this is what you have to understand. The best thing to do with these people is quit viewing yourself as small and they're so big. Okay. There's such giants in this industry. That may not be the case at all. They may have hit a rank a long time ago, but that doesn't mean they're still doing that. So, and there can be different reasons. Again, they quit working it, or their company, there's problems going on in the company. There's something going on. But too many times that people are afraid to go after a professional because they don't have enough self-esteem. So first of all, what I want you to do is just start believing that your message, whatever your message is, about your product, about your company, whatever that message is, it's an important message, and it's a message they need to hear. And if you want to just reach out to them and again, pay them a compliment. Here's the thing about people that have high ranks, they have big egos, many of them, not all, but pay them a compliment. That's proper protocol. Hey, man, I respect you. I've read your story, your background, and what you've done in network marketing. Very impressive, very impressive. Let me give you an example, Eden. I remember a woman years ago. She answered an ad, and she lived in Hawaii. And so I asked her. I said, "I detect an accent. What background are you?" She said, "Japanese." And I said, "Okay, interesting." And so I started questioning, "Have you ever been involved in network marketing before?" "No, never." Well, no. She had not been successful. She had only been in a few companies, but you didn't have any success. So I said, "Well, do you know anybody who is successful?" And she said, "Yes. I know a man in Tokyo. He's very successful, but he wouldn't be interested." And I said, why wouldn't he be interested?" "Because he's successful." I said, "Well, See, I'm one of those that I don't believe in roadblocks. I blow them out. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I like to talk to successful people. She said, well, do you speak Japanese? No. Well, he doesn't speak English. I don't know how you're going to have a conversation. I said, you know what? But I have this feature on my phone. It's called three-way call. What if I just call him up and you interpret? You just translate it. How about that? Would you do that? And she said, okay. And so here's what I did with this giant, this high-ranking top earner, right, in network marketing. Again, just like the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie says, pay them a compliment right away. People want to feel special. They want to feel valued. So his name was Tezuka. I said, Mr. Tezuka, it's an honor to meet you, sir. Yuri has told me some really great things about you. Everything you've done in network marketing, it's so impressive. What an honor to speak with you on the phone. Now that's how the conversation began, the introduction. Well, then I went on to say, sir, because you are so successful, there's a product that we are introducing into Japan. I would like your professional opinion on it. I would value it very much. Would you be willing to take a look at this product and what this company is going to do in Japan and just give me your opinion? And the next word was hi, which in Japanese means yes. And so the next step was you go get help. Sometimes you just have to go get help. Now, in this case, I decided to go after the general manager because most companies, when they're in other countries, they have corporate offices there. Somebody runs that corporate office. That's called a general manager. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, could you help me out with this man? Invite him down to the office and go over his questions regarding the product, the compensation plan, and what we're doing. And by the way, this is this girl's ID number who lives in Hawaii, if he chooses to sign up. Well, he did sign up. He did sign up. And within a few weeks, when I looked at my report, all I could see was Japanese names going ba 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 ba, and 400, 400, 400, $400 orders. That's the starting pack in Japan, straight down on the right. So, here's the thing. Pay them a compliment. You can introduce your product to them, Eden. Just offer it to them. Say, hey man, I'd love for you to try our product. You don't have to do the business, but I would love for you to try this product and give me your opinion. And then go get some help. So you might want to get someone who is successful in your company to help you. That is, if they're open to it. But I'll tell you right now, what's important to professionals, if they're really professionals, you must have a product that really turns them on. I mean, that was most important to me. Very important to me. And I can tell you, if I go back to the early 90s, when I answered some ads, I was looking for a company. And out of all the ads I answered, only 10 responded with information. And out of that 10, I did find one that I was very interested in their product. But that woman did not follow me up, and I gave her 1 week to do it. Now, I don't know who she was. She missed out on a fortune, I can tell you that. But she did not follow me up. And I thought, if you cannot follow me up, you cannot sponsor me, because you will never follow through. If you cannot follow up, you will not follow through. And I'm not interested in being recruited. I'm interested in being sponsored. There's a difference. Recruited is like a Marine sergeant. Man goes in to the recruiting office to join the Marines. He only sees them one time. After that, It's boot camp and who knows what after that. I'm not one of those. So the thing about it is, just understand that you don't have to be a giant to get a giant. You don't have to be a high-ranking person to get a high-ranking person. You don't. Because they know how to get dressed in the morning. They know how to begin their day. They have their method of operation. But two things are important here. That is that they really fall in love with your product, and then second, they need to like you. The chemistry has to be right. But what you need to do is relax about it. Really relax about it. You know, you're really showing interest in that person as a person, not at the rank they hold. That feels warm and fuzzy to that person. Again, and then you can get some help. Nothing wrong with that, and I've done that many times in the last, especially the last 3 decades. Is at times I would go to my sponsor and say, hey, would you do a call with me? Now, and hopefully that's helpful. But now Michael Lenz, he's in Scandinavia, I believe Denmark, and he just asked the question, what are your experiences online versus face-to-face prospecting? Well, I've done both. There's no question about it. When you get face-to-face with somebody, that's certainly more interactive, and the exchange is more powerful than if you're doing it online. But you can be successful either way. So, but he follows that up with, he's asking a question about my book. Why did you change companies in chapter 11? I really appreciate your feedback. Well, you know what? It's not because I changed companies as much as the companies changed. I didn't leave them, they left me. Now, there were a few. My first one is still in business today. Yeah. And so what happened was that basically we were, I went through some companies that just the owners didn't know what they were doing. But the company before the last one I just joined, the one I joined 21 years ago, before that one, I was with that company almost 6 years, and we were sold, and the new owners came in and they doubled the requirements in the compensation plan. Now, what kind of people would do that? People that have zero respect for the people in the field, zero. I mean, we're not slaves, and we're not gonna, and first of all, it was an old archaic compensation plan, a breakaway plan to begin with. So why would we want twice the requirements when it was already outdated? Made no sense. So that was why I left, because I knew my income was leaving too. Everybody was leaving. So that's why I left, and that's it. Sometimes you have to do that. I know one girl that left a major network marketing company, not because she didn't like her company. She just hated her upline because they always spoke down to her. I mean, they were just always negative and telling her that she's doing everything wrong, and then trashing her to her downline and all that. I mean, she put up with it for longer than I would have ever put up with it. And so sometimes you have to move on, Now, and so Eden has another question. And by the way, if you have a question, you can post it now, and George will screenshot it and he'll send it to me. She asked, when you have a large team, would you suggest holding calls, Zoom calls, a couple of times a day to accommodate time zones? Or do you think sharing a recording is just as effective? Live is more effective than a recording. And I wouldn't worry about it just because it's different time zones. Find a time zone that works for everybody. If you're doing it at, let's say, if you're doing it at 12 o'clock Eastern, so that's 11 Central, 10 Mountain, and then 9 o'clock Pacific. So that, you just play with it. I would recommend just doing one. It's way too much work to do multiples. Yeah, for sure. And live is much better, much more effective. And so now I'm going to see if George sent me anything. Nope. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, so here's one thing I want you guys also to say. I want to go back to the title of this video. Again, what did I say? Well, if you want to go after professionals, first of all, I want you to understand, and you got to believe that you have exactly what they've been looking for. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe in your opportunity, in your company. I mean, you joined it for a reason. You were hot about it, so you got to feed that heat. But just feel that they want that. But at the same time, don't go at them like a maniac. I'm just saying, be comfortable in your skin when you reach out to them, and see if they'll use your product. Say, hey man, I love his product. Again, pay them a compliment. Tell them, hey, I love everything you've done in the industry and all that. You're a real professional. I would really greatly appreciate it if you would try my product. You might want to be a customer. I'm not trying to recruit you, but I would like to get your sincere feedback on this product. You'd be surprised. I mean, again, when a person who, I know because I've done this, I've been doing this 40 years, right? And I can tell you right now, when I'm looking, in the past, when I was looking, nobody knew it. Even the person that might be trying to prospect me did not think I was interested. That's right. In other words, I'm playing hard to get. Why? Because I'm creating a safety zone for me. I have to have that space between me and the person who wants to sponsor me. I have to evaluate it. I got to see how I'm going to feel about it. At the same time, I've got to psych myself up. Do you really want to do this again, Jeff? Oh my gosh. Do you really want to do this again? I really think you need to see a psychologist. So, matter of fact, the last time I was recruited 21 years ago, matter of fact, it was a hippie kid that I talked to. And again, it was a hippie kid. This wasn't somebody, Eden, who was successful in another company, okay? So I was a top pin in another company. Like I said, we were sold, and so yes, I was looking, and because I didn't like where I was, and I was not going to be in that company with these new owners. So, but anyway, but that was what he said to me. So, are you ready to get? I was interested in the product, and he knew that, and he said, so are you? Hey, are you ready to get started? You want? I said, oh no. Right now, I've got to paint the house. The house was built in 1860, right? So I said, it's one of the, the one with the Gone with the Wind, the pillars out front, look, I said, he said, how long will you be painting it? Don't know. So he turns me over to another guy who he sponsored, and he said, you follow him up. And so he did. He kept calling me and say, hey, you ready to get started? Which, what, we'd like to work with you. You ready to get started? I said, painting my house. Well, how long will you be painting it? It's a big house. And he went back and told the hippie kid, he said, I don't think he's going to do anything. He said, no. He's just angry. Just give him time. Smart kid. Persistence pays off. And then finally he called me on New Year's, said, Jeff, are you ready to get started? And I remember saying to him, I said, his name is Dave. I said, Dave, It's New Year's. And tonight I'm going to go out and I'm going to drink and I'm going to think. And then tomorrow I'm going to get started. That's my go date. And that's exactly what I did. And then I remember just going up in one of the rooms of that house where I had my desk. I did not own a computer, just a phone and a list of names. People who had either said no in the past or they were busy or whatever their excuses were. That was where I was going to start. And I thought, oh man, I cannot believe I'm going to do this again. But here's the thing. They recruited someone who turned around and brought some months $30 million of business. Like I said, long-haired hippie kid. And that was it. He didn't have a rank. He didn't have success, but he got me. So let me tell you something. If they're ready, they're coming. Just be the person that they want to do business with. The chemistry's got to be good. Your product's got to be a fit. And that's it. They're big boys or big girls. They know how to get dressed and get going in the morning. So anyway, hey, Mindy, nice to see you. So it's been fun being on this call with you tonight. Have a great weekend. And be safe in what you do, okay? Really. And then I'll put out something this weekend, some value, and then looking forward to reconnecting with you in a few days. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your family, your whatever you do, but just be safe. Love all of you.